Let's talk about determining a varsity and a JV team, and maybe even a freshman team. So maybe your school has the ability to have the different levels, and maybe you'll have that kind of turnout at your tryouts to determine who's varsity, JV, and then even maybe a freshman team. So there's been much discussion about this. So first of all, I want to recommend that you go based on what your school does. So if your basketball program, your football program, soccer, volleyball, if they have any rules regarding the age limits and how young they can be or how old they can be on a certain team, you'll need to abide by that. So if all freshmen, no matter how much talent they have, it has to be on the freshman team, then you need to go by that. Same thing if you can't be on varsity till you're a junior or a sophomore, you need to abide by that. However, there's probably some variety in what the sports at your school do. And so if you are not bound by some type of rule your school has about the ages of the athletes on your team, then I highly recommend that based on your tryouts, so you're judging on skills, and many cheer teams will also look at grades, recommendations from teachers, because it is so much more than skills to be a cheerleader, because it is a leadership opportunity at the school. So you'll take that, and I highly recommend that you open it up to any grade level if that's okay at your school, because you could have some very, very good freshmen. And I'm going to bring you back to my days. When I was a freshman, we were not allowed to be on varsity. And my particular class had some pretty talented athletes on our team. And because of that, our JV team was a lot better than the varsity. We even had the varsity sports wanting the JV team to cheer at their games. So that was the significant difference. It also is unfortunate that if you have athletes that could be on your team as freshmen and they really do have that skill level, it's unfortunate that they would not be able to letter because they're not on the varsity team. And so I want you to consider that as well. Now, if you're looking at, is a freshman mature enough to be a cheerleader? Well, then have some other part of your tryout with grades and recommendations from teachers, judging their character. And I even have a coach's score as well. So just seeing how coachable they are, how they respond during the tryout clinics, and that's where that score can come into play. So then it doesn't have to just be about skills. So you might have some amazing freshman that comes in and she can do a standing full and have all this talent, but then maybe those other scores can impact whether or not she's making varsity, because maybe you don't know if she would be mature enough for the varsity team. So what I'm recommending is that you make sure that you give every athlete a chance for varsity, no matter what grade level they're in, and then have your score sheet work according to that as well. So then you have that opportunity to maybe not put somebody with all the talent, but not really the maturity on a varsity team. You also want to look at, you don't want your JV team to end up being better than your varsity because you've bound yourself to some kind of rule that freshmen and sophomores can't be on varsity. So those are some things to think about. And like I said at the beginning, make sure that you are going by the school rules. In most cases, though, if you've got a freshman guy that can dunk a basketball, maybe he's just extra tall and he's a great basketball player, I firmly believe that basketball coach is putting him on the varsity team. And so let's not limit the opportunities for your younger athletes to be on a varsity team if they have the skills and if they meet the requirements for your team. So some things to think about. Please give me some feedback on your thoughts on whether or not to put freshmen, sophomores on varsity teams. Thanks and have a great day.